What's up, guys? So, as promised, I'm gonna create some of these Airtable systems. You can just download it with the link that I'll provide. But in this video, I'm gonna show you how I'm building it, and I'm gonna build it from scratch with the task management system, which is basically like my second brain. I have Airtable on my phone, so whenever I think of something that I need to do or I need delegate, I just speak into Siri and it adds it, or I just manually add it to my phone. So if you don't have the Airtable app and you're using Airtable, it's really awesome. I do about 60% of my work from the mobile app. And then I'm going to create the Leads OS, which has helped us out a lot to close a lot more deals with the hot list here, keeping it updated, having like a source of truth for everything, seeing all the new leads coming in. And we connect it to Go High Level and connect it to school and our system. So all of our leads show up in there. Plus, there's another cool thing. The Airtable web clipper, if you're using Airtable and not using this, highly recommend it to move data over from any source on the internet. And then I'm going to create a little content OS. So we'll see how much I get done in the 30 minutes that I have here. So let's just go into here and make it a little bit simpler. Let me grab these. Boom, those are overdue from yesterday. And see if I can just, this is cool. You can just copy and paste other sheets in here. And it looks like they have a new AI thing, which I haven't tried yet, to create databases like this. So when I'm in Airtable, I just usually start from scratch. And this pasting function is pretty sweet. And they're adding a crap ton more with AI, which is pretty awesome. So let me delete that. And then you can go to any board and just paste the data in, and it should work. It should go across. So now we have version 1 of your task system up. Boom. Tasks. And I'm going to show you some automations in here that are pretty cool too. I'm just going to change this name to task. Pin task. Task. Boom. And what's pretty cool here in terms of one automation, I'm going to remove this, is when it was created. And when you have like clients boards and that sort of stuff, you can see all your client tasks in one place too. So it organizes things pretty well. And then I'm going to change this to a created time. And this will be an automation of when that task was created, which is pretty nice to organize by. And maybe you want urgency and impact. We use that on some of ours, but I'm just going to simplify it for you guys and hide those fields. And then we like to group it by status here. So then we got status, due date, any details that you want to write in, time of how long it will take and who's responsible. And you can open these up, put in details, same thing on mobile as well. But here's where it gets cool. We can set up some automations here. And what I'm going to do is set up the first automation. So when record matches a condition in the tasks table and the due date is today, and status is not complete, then we can update that record, boom, in tasks with the same ID, to go to status, boom, today, boom. And then all of the tasks that are due today will show up as today. So today's tasks. So the internal automations in Airtable are pretty sweet. And then duplicate this. And we also want to see when it's overdue. So when it's is before today, and status, boom, is then overdue. Cool. Sweet. So now we got those two automations running. And X, boom, overdue tasks. Sweet. I'll turn that on. And then we can go to the data field here. Sweet. And if I move this to this date, then this should show up as overdue. Boom, perfect. And if I move it to today, it should switch back to today. So, yeah, it will. Just give it time. I need to take out some of these statuses for you, so we don't need in progress. We need that. Notes in here. Notes are still good. I'll put it down at the bottom there for now, but you can switch that. So for example, with notes, it's like my second brain. So I just go to my tasks and here are the notes from yesterday's call. So I have these saved in one place. And then when I review them, when I'm done with them, I just move them to complete. So I have this up on every call that I'm on and just put my notes in there. And then when I review them, when I'm done with them, I just put them away. And okay, cool. Let's build that interface for you guys. Boom. And what you can do here as well is call this boom all tasks. And then for team members, you can say boom Andrew's tasks. And then change the filter where responsible is Andrew. And then each person on the data side has a task board, so they can use it from their phone, all that good stuff. So on interfaces here, I'm just going to start building an interface. Boom. And tasks. We'll just call it tasks. Boom. Next. I'm going to go with a blank. You can do this and make it mobile friendly, but just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to do this from scratch. And I'm going to go in here. You can add elements here to interfaces. And then I'm going to click this and go to tasks and then copy from settings of all tasks. And then this is really cool. I can use a filter function up here for tasks and connect it to that grid view. And then what I can do is make the responsible for this the current user. So then all of your team members can come to this one view to be the source of truth, and it will only show their tasks unless they change the filter. Also, we can open these up for this type of view. I want to hit these on edit, 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 boom. Urgency, impact, boom. Created by should be an automated, so I will fix that for you guys. And we probably want this above details and make this editable. So now you have an open view to put in details, and you can put in other sources and also comment on these tasks as well. Pretty cool stuff in there. And then up here, yay. Let me move my stupid face. And I'm just going to put in a pin. For UX purposes, I always put a title at the top, my tasks. And you can hit Control Command Spacebar for these emojis. And then we can make this large. And then we can put a number in here of boom here. And we want to tie it to the tasks board. And boom, in here, we want specific records. Status is today. So we're going to just call this pin today. Perfect. Tasks. Boom. And then we can duplicate that, turn it red, and call this over X. Overdue tasks. Sweet. And then we just need to change the filter here to today or overdue. And then we can call this one Boom. Check. Check. Completed tasks. Boom. So now we got that nice and optimized. And we could add one more. Just call this boom. Our brains count to 4 and then they stop for just like looking at data. So I don't like more than 4 data points up at the top here. So upcoming tasks. And let's make sure all of these are tied to the filter as well so we can manipulate that data. Boom, connect, boom, connect. Sweet. Now we got a nice little task dashboard for you and your team members. And we can also add other filter conditions. So task contains and due date is maybe by status. That would be good. And then let's just name this, and you got a task dashboard. Tasks. Boom. Just call this my tasks. My tasks. Boom. Perfect. Sweet. Got a cool task dashboard here. All of these things open up. You can go here and say, send Slack or Stripe link to Jared, and then change the responsible and the due date and any details in there and how long it will take. And then let's say this is upcoming, and then that will be sent to Maiko. So in her task dashboard, she'll see this. So that's pretty cool. And now you got that there, can keep things super organized. We have this up during our team meetings. So we have one person responsible for putting in the tasks that we talk about, so those don't get missed. So that's the task dashboard in a nutshell. The thing that I wanted to do is created by. So that will be an automation as well now. You can see who added it there. All right, so I'm going to move on to, let's just go straight to the Leads OS. New, boom, Leads OS. Cool. And let's optimize this and get you all the data you need in there. And also, I'm going to share with you the Airtable web clipper and how to set that up in this video, which is what our setters use to bring the clientele over here. So you don't need to use, and it works on school, it works on LinkedIn, it works on Facebook, any platform to bring a new lead over here. So let's just go into here. Let's go here. Boom. Let's grab this. This is great. And hopefully this transfers over. Boom. And we'll do that. Cool. That's what happened last time. Sometimes this happens in Airtable. It doesn't transfer over perfectly. So let me figure this out. All right, cool. So we transferred this over. Usually when data doesn't transfer over, it's because, boom, here we have a lot of linking fields right here with the tags and that sort of stuff. So sometimes that doesn't transfer over. So I just needed to hide those in another view, and then I could transfer those over. So here, boom, let's go here, lead name. Perfect. And what I want to do, the first one is sort by group by prospect stage, and then go into where's the date? Okay. Boom. created date. This will show us when the new lead is entered. Created date, created time. We'll remove the time. Boom, perfect. Save, convert. And this will be by stage. Let me just rock it. By stage. And then we can duplicate this view and then sort it differently. So new leads. And we want to take out the grouping function. And then we want to move this over. Everything's so malleable in here. And then we want to sort by created date and the latest. So who are the newest ones coming in here? So you got that, got email, got month and year. Oh, here's some formulas I want to get you too. These are pretty cool. So if I go in here, I can just grab this formula that will change the date to the month and the year, so we can sort or search by that. So let me go in here, and I can go in here, formula, boom, add that formula in, change what it's working by, date created, cool. And then by year, grab that. Boom, perfect. And just jump it around here. There you go. Formula, perfect. Put that in. Sweet. Change this. Date created. Sweet. So now we got that. Updated date should be a boom, modified time, and you can connect it to specific records. So when we modify the notes on the prospect, then that's connected there now, and that's pretty good. So we can change the prospecting stages here. What we have is deposit collected, hot prospect, enrollment call, triage call, need booked. I'm going to take these out for simplicity purposes. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. And the best way to use this initially is just putting the hot list in here and having you or your setters re-engage with the hot list over and over. These are the people that are most viable, that sort of stuff. Like, this is what we have most of our clients start on. It's just identifying their hot list and re-engaging with them when they're at the beginning stages. So John Smith, and then I can pull any link from the internet and say this is John Smith, and then go directly there. Boom. And notes, what you'll see is the updated, changes that. If you have their phone number on mobile, you can click and just call, which is pretty cool. And there we go. And we can put in quality and source, where they from. This would be a school source. Perfect. And then I want to show you one more thing. Give me a second. So here's how we move people from Go High Level and school into the Airtable lead system. It's just a simple zap where you catch the webhook, you put it inside of Go High Level, and then it puts the record inside of there. So in the table, put the name, associate the name, the phone, the revenue level, the email, the tags, that sort of stuff, the location. So that's one source. All that data can go in there. And then the other source is, I fucking love this thing. Let me see if I can set it up directly on here. If I add an extension and look for the web clipper, boom, you can add web clipper to this. So let me show you how that works. So I can be anywhere on the internet, prospecting with someone, jamming out. Oh, and my face will go away after this. I'm on Facebook. So sorry about that. Let's see. Let's go with this guy. And then let me go in here, open up Messenger in its entirety, and boom, boom, boom. Let's say I want to add this guy to it. Then I can click here, boom, and go to, I haven't done this in a while. Go to add prospect. And then this will automatically take the link. I just need to add the name, Daniel Sanchez. And I can put in the prospecting stage, interested in 297 business, OS, add any tags, add responsibility, all that stuff, and hit add record. And then that should, boom, add the record to our Leads OS. So highly recommend in prospecting setting this up. And then I have a direct link to his page where we're messaging, all of that stuff. Then it just makes prospecting so much faster and easier. So he's, boom, in our Leads OS. So yeah, Airtable Web Clipper is freaking great. Love that. Or automated entry through Zapier, or manual entry here, either on mobile or desktop. So I have to go to my call soon, but I'm going to do the interfaces here for the Leads OS. And then I'll shoot another video on the Content OS, but I'll send this over now. So if I go in here to the interfaces, and I want to add a new one, new interface, boom. Just do new Leads OS, cool. And you'll see some charts and graphs on this one. So let me put this in, perfect. And then I want to open this up. Leads OS, awesome. And boom, rocket. Prospect stage. And then copy this from stage and put this up at the top. Rocket. Prospect stage, boom, down. And large, and filter, boom. And then I can do this, connect it there, connect it to element, and then I can search by stage or lead name or whatever else I want to search by, revenue level, something like that. And then I can put in a chart, boom. And here with the charts, I can do this by prospect stage. Perfect. I can color code them. Boom. Prospects by stage. Show the record at the top and color code this by the colors that are in there. And then put in a number. Boom. Here. Boom. New. Total leads. Let's do that. And do this. Fire. Hot prospects. Sweet. Sweet. And then we want to change the filter on this. Conditions status is hot. And let's just move this and call this. Let's do this. This. Boom. Call. Phone. Enrollment calls booked. Calls booked. And we changed the filter there to that. Cool. Here's V1 of that. That can look like. Sweet. That's perfect. And then we can open this up. Boom. So we can change any of the data here. Boom. There we go. Setter. Salesperson. Perfect. It's automation. Change the quality. Source. And here, let's move details down here and this up here. Cool. Something like that could be really good. Boom, edit. Sweet. Now we got V1 of that. And we also might want a dashboard. Let's duplicate this on new leads. Boom. Boom. New leads. Sweet. And let's take this out. Let's take this out and then duplicate Moon this month. Boom. And then we can use the specific date on date created is within this calendar month. Sweet. And then we can do, just for simplicity purposes, let's do a world and say this year. Leads added. And let's change the color on this. And then this calendar year. Sweet. And then leads added. Then we want to change this chart. Boom. New leads. Boom. By month. And then we can sort this by month. And let's go down here to the created date. And it's by month. So we can see we added 2 in April there. So that's pretty cool. And then we want to change this view to be the new leads view so we can see all that, who's come in, that sort of stuff, sorted by start date. We'll change this, boom, by new leads. Cool. So now we have a lead system and we have a task management system, which is pretty cool. And then I'll create the content system as well. And if you guys need additional videos of like getting people in here and all that good stuff, I got you. And then, yeah, I'm going to build this one out next. But that's about it for the time I have here. I think another 30-minute build for the content OS. We'll get that going. But pretty cool stuff. We talked about automations. We talked about interfaces. We talked about getting leads in here, the Airtable web clipper, and hope that was helpful, guys. And I'll see you soon.